Hi everyone, this is Rob from RuinWorks, bringing you April 2024's second release of the month. This one I simply entitled The Windmill. It's part of RuinWorks Customizable Scenes module, and I'm here just to run you through it quickly. So it's a 5-level scene: ground, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and the rooftop. We'll start on the ground floor. There's a few customization options here. Firstly, if we zoom into the bridge that goes across this narrow ravine, we can just double click the transform button to cycle it through its various images. So you have the option to have no bridge, to have an intact bridge, or to have a broken bridge. If we scroll up to the top of the scene, there's a second area that we can customize, which I've just called the top area for the scene. Again, there's a transform button which we can double click, and it can go between just a road to a field to an entrance to a forest, and then lastly a grave, which you might not be able to see immediately, but if I move out this tile out of the way, you can see a grave just here, kind of hidden by the tree. Just of note, if we do end up selecting one of the variations with trees, walls will be added to those variations. So as soon as you come to this variation with the trees in it, you can see terrain walls have been added around them. If you come here to the grave variation, walls have been added to the trunk of the tree here as well. And then lastly, we have the ability to put on a fallen tree. So if you want to block the road or something like that, you can just double click the on off button. This tree works with most of them. Only variation it might not work with is the field variation, where it looks a little funny. It could still work, but it does look a little bit funny here. So those are the 3 customization options for the ground outside of the windmill. When we go into the windmill, I'll just quickly run through it first. We have our ground floor. We got our grinding machine here at the bottom, which grinds up the flour. It's kind of attached to some gears, which go up to the second floor. Here, you can see it's tied by this chain that runs down through the floor to turn the gears for the grinding machine at the bottom. We have interaction points, allowing our tokens to change elevations. So I just found my token here on the ground floor. Just double clicking, and tokens can use the stairs. So this is the second floor we see here. And this main shaft in the middle runs all the way up to the 4th floor. So just keep that in mind. So when you're looking in here with a token, it can't see through this portion. Just of note as well, there's also a ladder between the 1st and 2nd floors in this far corner. So if you want to use the ladder, you can just climb it using the interaction point again. Going up to the 3rd floor, our token can climb up. This 3rd floor is mostly just a few beams and a little walkway to another set of stairs leading up to the 4th floor. And when we enter the 4th floor, we can see here is the main mechanism of the windmill. Maybe a bit easier if I don't have the token on. You can see the windmill attached here. There is also a parapet up here. Walk along. The last thing we can do for the windmill itself is we can customize whether or not we want it to be spider infested or not. So in the left margin here, we have all of our windmill options where we can include spider webs and also spider wrapped bodies. And then we also have a main theme button. So if we click this theme button, it'll just turn on all of the spider webs inside of the windmill. So I'll show you what that looks like. If you just click it, you can see the ground, 2nd, 3rd, 4th floors all have spider webs now included inside of the building. If we look at our token, some of these webs are now overhead tiles as well. So you can now see our token is walking underneath some of them, and it fits on all the levels. So if we go back down, there are now webs on this level. I will note when you choose the theme button, it does put in some of the spider wrap bodies, which you can kind of see hanging here on the 3rd floor. I have a note in the windmill options that the bodies on the 2nd floor and 3rd floor are the same, so you should only really have them included on one. When you hit the spider theme button, it only turns on the wrapped bodies for the 3rd floor. So if we go down to the 2nd floor, just want to show you there are overhead tiles here again, which our tokens will be walking underneath, and they can look down on the 1st floor and see one of the bodies that's there, this new spider body. And if you want to see how this can work with the spider options, if you don't want the dead spider, maybe all the spiders in here are alive, you can turn off the spider and leave the spider wrap body on if you prefer. If you go up to the 2nd floor, obviously we can turn the webs off so there's no webs. And we can include the bodies here instead of the third floor. So you can see there are some bodies that hang, but if you go to the third floor, they are identical. So if I turn off these ones, now there's only ones on the second floor. So just be careful. You probably don't want to repeat the image on both floors. It's just there in case you had some preference about which level you want the bodies to be hanging from. I kind of like having it on the third floor because then in order to get the bodies down, your players likely have to start crawling across these rafter-like beams, and that might be a bit more difficult, so it's a bit more of a challenge if they're trying to get bodies away from this area. As always, there is a guide link in the top left of the scene. And that's kind of it for the scene. A bit of a quick one this time. It's been a while since I've done one of my customizable scenes, so I thought I would try throwing one of these in there. Let me know what you think. I hope you have fun with it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.